There we go. We are live now. Hey guys, welcome to Saturday School. Another Saturday, and today we have two guests on the show live. And the goal of the show is to eventually, make this an open forum, get others actively participating in Saturday School. And so, thank you for joining. Hope you guys had a happy new year and a Merry Christmas. We are now past the holidays. Things should get a little bit more regular, and we're going to be adding different segments to this show, to Saturday School as well. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you because I have a few announcements. And once we cover these announcements, we will be going into Saturday School and the lesson for today. So here we are. Okay, so Saturday School, welcome to Saturday School. It's hosted by the IEWP, or the Inland Empire WordPress Meetup group, and by Various Smith, that's myself. So, what is the Inland Empire Meetup group? We are WordPress enthusiasts from the Inland Empire. So, I'll state our meeting times. We meet once a month, every first Tuesday in person. We actually meet in person for a monthly meetup, and we cover different topics. We get together, have food, and just have fun, talk about WordPress, and hope that you can make it out to meet with us one first Tuesday, and at our live, our in-person meetup. We also meet via Livestream virtually every Saturday for Saturday School. And this is something that I actually started about 7 weeks ago. And so Saturday School has been going for 7 weeks, about 7 weeks straight. You can find the archives of Saturday School on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And I will cover our YouTube channel later through the announcements. We also meet in our online Facebook group the rest of the time. So you can, if you want to search for Inland Empire WordPress, you'll find our group, join our group, and you can have help, ask your questions. We give help, and we'll give you support for your issues via WordPress and via the Facebook group. So it doesn't matter if you've been working with WordPress for a short time or not at all, or many years. We welcome you to our family. Come and learn. So I consider it a little bit of a tech family here. So why Saturday School? I created Saturday School to help fill in the gaps of learning that the members of the Inland Empire WordPress Meetup group had, and those who will find it on YouTube channel afterwards. So basically, Saturday School is to fill in those gaps of learning that maybe you don't understand something about WordPress, and through the Saturday School broadcast or the Saturday School archives, you will pick up a little bit more of an understanding of how WordPress works, and excel further than you've been. So that was my hope for Saturday School, and that's the continued goal. So what do we cover in Saturday School? We cover the basics of WordPress theme setup. So theme setup is one thing. Administration without needing to touch the code. The accompanying tools and the fundamental principles of understanding how to use WordPress as a content management system. So all of these things we cover in Saturday School are intended to help you not only set up a theme and administer your WordPress website without ever having to touch a lick of code, and then teaching you about some of these tools that will help you and give you some fundamental principles of understanding how to use WordPress, the content management system. So this is the Inland Empire WP Saturday School website. This is the Inland Empire WordPress website, I'm sorry. So if you go to inlandempirewp.com/Saturday School, that will take you to the actual page where you can view the broadcast. And if I clicked on that, it's going to bring me to this broadcast. If I press play, then what's going to happen is that what I'm saying right now, what's being broadcast live, is actually going to show up, and that'll give me some weird feedback, so I'm not going to do that. There's also a chat box here on this page for those who are watching the broadcast. You can actually, just chat on this page as well with anyone here on Saturday School if you're not in the broadcast. Next thing I wanted to make an announcement about is our Meetup group here on the Meetup.com website. If you go to Meetup.com/Inland Empire WP, then you get a listing of all of our meetups, and you can RSVP for a future meetup and join us at these meetups. If you see there is a meetup here on January the 5th, this is the actual one that's going to be in person. We meet at Riverside IO at 3976 Market Street, Riverside, California. We meet every first Tuesday of the month. This month's topic is going to be, in general, it's a new year. And we got a few plans, just to make it a little bit awesome. We're going to be talking about goals, New Year's goals for WordPress. We're also going to be talking about goals for the Meetup group overall. So feel free to come down. We meet as early as 5:15, and we have dinner at Wood Fire Grill most of the time. It's right across the street from the Meetup. We have dinner around like 5:30, and then the Meetup starts at 7 p.m. So we get back over to the venue around 6:30. Meetup starts at 7, and a Meetup schedule can be found here on Inland Empire WP. And if you click on that event, it's going to bring you to our monthly event. Please RSVP, invite your friends, and come out and learn WordPress. And also network, just meet new people. So that's part of the purpose, is you getting out and meeting new people and in the tech community and in business. So this is the website for the actual meeting place that we meet at. It's Riverside IO. It's just riverside.io. You can check out the meeting spot. This is where we meet at monthly. And so it's a really great gig, great place. And they volunteered to us for our meetup, which is super awesome. So these guys, we're in a great debt to them. The other thing I would have you to do is go to Facebook and do a search for Inland Empire WordPress. If you do that, you're going to come up with our group. We are a closed group, and all you have to do is request to be entered into the group, and I'll add you. And this is, again, as I said earlier, where we make announcements. This is where we meet when we're not actually, in person with each other. We also have a page, Inland Empire WP Meetup Group. Check that out on Facebook. So that could be a little bit confusing, but it's a separate, separate, but it's the same, So same meetup group, separate functions on Facebook, a page, and also a group. The next thing, we also have been inspired by the OC WordPress group. Go ahead and check them out. This is a great group headed up by Steve Zangit in Orange County, and they meet up. They have several meetups going on. So go ahead and check these guys out, OC WordPress. And you can also find us, Inland Empire Meetup Group, on YouTube. Just do a search if you wanted to do a search for Inland Empire WordPress, and you're going to come up with our YouTube channel. And on our YouTube channel, currently, if you go look at the videos we have uploaded, then you're going to see a few of our Meetup group videos in person, but you'll also see quite a few of the Saturday School, the virtual WordPress meetup that we're having right now. So you can check all of those out on YouTube, and you can get caught up as to what we've been talking about in Saturday School. The next thing I would encourage you to check out is our Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, IEWP Meetup. We are on Twitter. And that's all of our social media accounts for the IEWP Meetup. As part of the announcements, I want to let you know what we're covering in Saturday School is WordPress.org. This is the open source software. It's not .com, because there is a big difference between a .com based website in WordPress or a .org, WordPress.org, which is the open source version of WordPress that you host on your own server. There's a difference. So this is what we're covering, and you go to WordPress.org to download the software. And there's many other ways that you can get the software onto your computer, but there's only a few ways that you can run the software on your computer. One of the ways we'll be covering a little bit later, called desktop server. And if you're not running it on your computer locally, then you're going to need to have a web host. And there are quite a few ways for you to have web hosting online. And we won't necessarily cover which web host to go with, because there are so many out there. But we will let you know that that's a necessary part of having your own WordPress website. So the next thing I want you to get acquainted with is going to be the WordPress Codex. The WordPress Codex is the starting point, more than likely, that's going to be best for you if you're trying to dig into the software. There's a lot of stuff here, but they will start you in a great place for you to begin to learn more about whether you're setting up a theme, whether you're creating a custom theme, functions, hooks, classes, all of that stuff that gets really technical in the code. So all this stuff can be found at codex.wordpress.org. Make that a bookmark on your browser and visit this place as often as possible. Read as much as you can and then put all of it into action. The Codex is your friend. So check that out, codex.wordpress.org. The next thing I would like to let you know about is WordCamp Central. Because WordPress is more than a technology, it is a community. Not only do we have the Meetup group where we meet in person, but we also have WordCamps, which are conferences that focus on everything WordPress. And this year, there are going to be quite a few WordCamps that are going on all across the globe. If you look over here, there's a brief list of the upcoming WordCamps here on the website central.wordcamp.org. There's one in Paris. There's one coming up in Norway, Miami, Dayton, Mumbai. So if any of these locations are close to you, you can actually come to these basically you can come to this website, find out where the next WordCamps are going to be, and you can schedule yourself to go to one of them. The the admission for WordCamps are normally between $40 to $50, and that the reason is because there are sponsors. There are corporate sponsors who sponsor WordCamps so that you can have an amazing weekend of learning open source software, meeting web developers, connecting with the WordPress community. It is a very connected community. So I would encourage you to check out WordCamp Central. Finally, in order for you to get a little bit of a taste of what a WordCamp would be like, go to WordPress TV. WordPress TV is a great place for you to pretty much experience a WordCamp without going. And there are various topics, but all under the category of WordPress here on WordPress TV. There's a link on the front page, really on the main navigation, that will take you to WordCamps, and that's going to take you to a lot of videos from different WordCamps all across the globe. Check that out. WordCamp TV is a great tool for you to just begin to learn about WordCamps in general. So for a moment here, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. That is all that we have for announcements. And now I'm going to open up a new tab, and we're going to go ahead and begin with our class. The very last time that we were together, we went over a few things, and we're going to go back to the guide that we were on, and we're going to find out the very last topic, because this is the WP theme setup guide. It's a piece of content that, through most of this class it was completely filled out, but we got to the place to where now I haven't completed these parts of the guide. So I figured, even better than having you read something off the screen, I'm going to go through and complete these sessions of training via, kind of a live, one-on-one deal, like video training. So the last time we were together, we talked a little bit about the sidebars and widgets. You can check this out in the previous video, number 7. We also talked about media sizes. I think we also covered headers a little bit. So, all of that stuff has been covered in previous videos, and these are just kind of the remaining things that are going to be left when you are developing or setting up a premium theme. These are kind of the remaining kind of miscellaneous items that will be very important for you to understand as you are setting up your theme. So what I'm going to do is go to our Saturday School website, the one that we were on the very last week, and we are going to, from the website, begin to just kind of work on the website and go through the rest of the guide. So as the website loads, hopefully you can see it. It's taking a little while to load. Here we go. The very last time that we did talk, we were changing media sizes and talking about the importance of media sizes and you changing those options under media sizes. If I go back to the dashboard, then we will go to the location of where those media sizes can be found. And that's going to be under Settings, Media. Settings, Media. And we set, the large size to a 950. and these other sizes were already initially set. So as you know, as you insert the actual images and media into your content, what WordPress looks at is the width first, and then it will look at the height. So you won't always get a square image, but the width will be determined by the width that you set as your media size or your image size, and then it will scale the height of your image accordingly. So every time you upload an image into WordPress, it will scale several images and create several images at one time. Since this actually is a local install, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen really quick because I want to show you a folder, the actual media library, and what happens when I import this into WordPress. So this is what I'm going to show you. So you can actually see the file structure. So here we go. We're going to share the entire screen. All right. So if I were to come, right here, this is the website, SaturdaySchool.dev. I'm actually going to open up my Finder window, and to understand what's going on behind the scenes, it's what's going to just kind of give you a little bit of a deeper understanding of why it's like that. So inside of documents, websites, and then underneath SaturdaySchool.dev, I go into the WP content folder, and I go into my uploads folder, and I can go into 2015 or any one of these folders, and I will see that there are several different sizes of each one of these pieces of media. If you look at the very end of the media, you'll see the size 80 by 50, 150 by 150, 300 by 225. So this is scaling it according to that initial size that we set, and also 950 by 713. So just know that every time you upload a new image via the media library, then these media sizes, these image sizes are going to be determined by what you set underneath this media size area. So if I were to add a new piece of media, just let's say from my desktop, let me see, if I were to add any new piece of media, images and wallpapers or stock images. So I'm just going to add a new image and drop it in here. I dropped it in the wrong spot. Sorry. Okay, so still once again, let's drop it in the correct spot. Boom. I'm uploading a new piece of media, and I can go and create a new post, and I would just say awesome mobile, because I'm just creating a miscellaneous post. Awesome mobile apps. Cool. And then I want to add media again, and click on here. I can look at the sizes available. There's our predetermined sizes that are scaled according to the sizes that we created. So I'll go to 150 and insert that into the post. publish the post, and that is that. So media sizes are great. You can go through more of this inside of the codex. I would encourage you to go to the codex to find out a little bit more about those. Featured images would be the next thing that we talk about. Now, you know, most people, whenever they create their new site, they want their blog post to appear in a certain area, and they want an image to appear with the blog post. And that's what featured images are about. On this current theme, with this current theme, we have set the home page according to the theme options that are available to us, and we also have some blog posts here. So on the front page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove a few of these images from the home page just to make it a little bit more, I guess a little bit more viewable, because that was just an example from last time. And then I will add the actual featured image. So I'm going to just remove, you know, most of the images except for, I think, the 940 size. So go back, and now I'm going to save this, update that, but I'm going to also go ahead and view the page in a separate tab. And we're going to set a featured image. So setting a featured image is very easy. Basically, you need to have a blog post, because you can set a featured image on a page. However, it's a rare occurrence that you will use a featured image from a page, because pages are more than likely not going to be shared like a blog post would be shared, or they're not going to be displayed in the way that blog posts are displayed on a website. So here's the blog post that we just recently created. I'm going to open a new tab with that in it as well, just because I want to keep this home page here so I can come back and refresh and then view our featured image. In order to set the featured image, I'm here on the actual blog post, and we put our image inside of here. We got our comments box here. I'm just going to go ahead and edit this, and once I get to the actual editor, on the right side, you'll see several areas. One is the publish area, and if you go down, there is a meta box available called set featured image. So we can also set, just click that button, it will open the editor, and I select the actual image that I want, click set featured image, and go ahead and click the actual update button. Once I click the update button, then I can, I can go out and view the post. Nothing changes on the post, but if I, go out to the home page and I refresh the home page, this preview of the blog Awesome Mobile Apps is going to have an image showing on the preview. So there we have it. That is your featured image. Looks beautiful with this theme. I actually like this theme. It's a very nice theme, and if you weren't here with the previous week where I set this theme, it's called the Virtue theme, and it's a free theme in the repository. So I'll go to Appearance and go to Themes, and you can see the actual theme that I have. So there we have it, the Virtue theme. So that's featured images. And the next thing we're covering is going to be shortcodes. So shortcodes, I have a brief description here, but it may not give it justice. They're generated by plugins, and you place them in your website in order to make them functional. That doesn't say a lot. the way I would have you understand shortcodes is that it is a piece of code that's generated by a plugin in WordPress, and you place it inside of your editor to cause different things to happen. So a very basic shortcode would be a gallery. So if I were to edit this post, I'm going to go back to edit this post, and let's just say instead of this image here, a single image, I wanted to add a gallery of images. Let's say I wanted to add about 4 or 5 cool images. What I can do is click Add Media, and I can go, once the media dialog pops up, to the left side of the dialog and create gallery. Once I click on create gallery, it gives me the options of adding images from my media library. And if I select each one of these images to be a part of the gallery, WordPress will group each one of these images together, and then shows me that each one is checked and they're selected. What I do is go down to the bottom right of the dialog box and click Create New Gallery. WordPress will create the gallery and give me it will take me to a gallery, I guess a gallery screen of the dialog, and you can reorder your files within the gallery. And then you can also add a caption, cool bridge. But we're doing this because I want to show you shortcodes, because a gallery is a basic shortcode. Lovely night. Awesome mobile app. So once I have added the captions to the gallery, I can change the settings of the gallery. I can say I want the gallery to link to an attachment page, a media file, or none. I'll just say none. How many columns do I want? Let's just say three columns, yeah. Random order, yeah, why not? Size, let's just say medium. And then once I insert gallery, it adds it to my post. And because I am in the visual tab here, then I really don't see the shortcode. But the shortcode is actually working behind the scenes. So in order to see behind the scenes, I'll change from the visual tab at the top right of my editor to the text tab. And I will see what's going on behind the scenes. Let's do that now. So behind the scenes, I see bracket, gallery, link, none. These are the deciding factors of what is called a shortcode. This is a shortcode. IDs is actually grabbing the ID of each image. Order by random. So it's saying we're going to randomly order these images. Close bracket. All shortcodes open with a bracket and close with a bracket. And then they have what could be considered attributes: link, size, IDs. This gallery part of the shortcode would kind of be considered, I guess, the shortcode element. And then each one of the attributes themselves have values, so you can set the value of the shortcode. And it's not super hard. It's actually very easy. Once you begin to understand shortcodes, in most plugins that you install will give you shortcodes to insert the information that the plugin has into your, I guess, your website. So here we go. We have the gallery shortcode, and we're going to update this post. Then we're going to give the post a look. Once it's updated, we're going to view the post and see the gallery in action. So I clicked on view post, and as that refreshes, I want you to also understand that, not only does shortcodes work for galleries, but as I said earlier, there are many plugins that offer shortcodes. So here's our gallery. And by default, you can scroll through, click on the images, and scroll through them as a gallery. So 2 of 3, 3 of 3. You can see it down here at the bottom right of the photo. And then you also have little arrows to help you navigate through. You can use your arrow keys on the keyboard to navigate through this gallery as well. And it's really very, very handy. Because I set this gallery to medium, it gives me the medium size. If I were to go back, I could actually edit the actual shortcode instead of opening up the dialog box, or I could open up the dialog box. So because that inserted a shortcode, and right now I'm on the text, I went back to the editor, and I'm on the text part of the editor. I'm going to change medium to small. I think that's a parameter. So I'm going to test that, and if it works, then we'll see the small version of these thumbnails. So because I am not absolutely sure that is a parameter, I'm going to open this in a new tab, and we're going to check it out. And if it's not a parameter, I'm going to go back to the editor, to the actual editor, and use the parameters that the editor gives me, or the pop-up editor. So it doesn't look like anything has changed when I changed it to small. So maybe that was a parameter, but I'm going to click on the visual right here. Okay, so it shows the images as small here inside of the visual editor. And what's really cool about WordPress is that it recognizes this shortcode, and it gives me, underneath the visual tab, it gives me an opportunity to click on this edit button. So the edit button hovers over the top of this gallery, and it groups these images together meaningfully to let me know that they're all part of one gallery. And I can click on edit, and okay, so there is a size called thumbnail, and I'm going to click update, and there's no small. So there's thumbnail, but there is no small. So now I'm going to update the entire post again, and I'm going to refresh this page once the post is updated. So this is a gallery shortcode. I want to cover one more shortcode, then we're going to move on. So looks as if this has been updated. Looking at the text version of here, and there is no size, so it's giving me just the thumbnail, the automatic thumbnail. So I guess this is our thumbnail size. And okay, so I will navigate away from this, and we're going to look at one more shortcode. We actually did create a contact form previously with contact form 7, and that's available free in the WordPress plugin repository. And if I go back to the contact form here, we're not going to recreate it, but we're going to look and see that right here WordPress offers us a shortcode. And so this is the shortcode that is on our contact page. So I'm going to navigate to our contact page, which it is not in our navigation bar. So what I'm going to do is really briefly create a navigation menu item of contact inside of our primary navigation. Let's see. So here we go. We got our primary navigation selected, and in order to get to this menus area, I went to Appearance, Menus. I'm going to add a contact to this menu. I selected the square next to contact, and then I clicked Add to Menu. And here we go. We have our contact page now in the primary menu area. And I'm going to save that. Once I've saved the actual menu, then I'm going to move along from there and go back out to the website, refresh, and when I refresh, I have a contact link available, and I'm going to go to the contact page. So this is the actual contact form that we have. If I click Edit Page, then we will see the shortcode that I used is the exact same shortcode that Contact Form 7 offers me, because that's the only contact form that I created. It has brackets on each end and has different attributes and different values for each attribute. Very cool. Similar to HTML, doesn't have an open and closed tab, but basically shortcodes are quick and easy ways to add new functionality to your website. So, you know, if I go back out to this this page, if I go back out to view this page, then you see the contact form was inserted into this entire page through a single element, and that was the shortcode. So there we have it. That's a little bit about shortcodes, very brief, and let's move forward. It is 9:44, and I will continue to teach until we get to 10:15, I believe. 10:15. Then after 10:15, there will be questions. So, post metadata. Okay, it's a huge topic, really. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the codex briefly. We'll talk a little bit about post metadata. And so metadata would be data that is attached to your post. I think I have. In this theme, I mean, if you were to come to this theme, then all you would need to do is navigate to some of the posts that are available, and the only posts I think that are available is going to be Hello World. Oh yeah, here we go. We got a couple of posts. And the reason I felt it's important for you to understand, you know, post metadata is because this is the way you will sometimes, you know, need to understand some of the post metadata to have some really awesome customizations to your post. And further down the line, if you ever start using custom post types, then post metadata comes in, you know, becomes very handy for you. If I try to go through the codex, it's going to get very technical. And so I don't think I want to do that. Some of the basic forms of post metadata, it's going to be the author, like, you know, by V. Smith. That is a piece of metadata for the post awesome mobile apps. And then another piece of metadata in the post that can be considered a piece of metadata. It's not listed here. I don't see it here. Will be, oh yeah, here it is right here. Your date. Your date is another piece of post metadata. And if I were to click on edit this post, then usually post metadata will also be, it will show up underneath the editor, the actual editor space in your editor, because this is different stuff that you want to attach to this particular post. So on this post, you get these meta boxes. This is what you would consider a meta box. Right now, I'm collapsing all of these meta boxes so that you can see them. And more meta boxes will be available to you for any post whenever you go to the top right section of your screen under screen options. If you click on screen options, then you can see all of the meta boxes that are available. And what I'm going to do is activate every last one of the meta boxes on this screen, and we'll see what a mess we have at the bottom. So, but by default, most of these boxes that are here on this blog right now are not here. Meta boxes in additional post metadata comes as a part of plugins that you install. Sometimes they, additional metadata comes in, just the default version of WordPress, or I'm sorry, additional post metadata comes in the actual theme that you have. Sometimes that'll happen. So I've actually activated the rest of the meta boxes here on this screen. And we have, what else do we have? We have excerpts, we have trackbacks, and a trackback, basically, it's a little bit old school. I don't use trackbacks on most of my blogs because they're kind of like spam to me, but it was a way to actually notify. It gives you a little definition right here, a way to notify legacy blog systems that you've linked to them. So like if you link to another blog, then sometimes a trackback will show up in the comments area of your actual of the blog that you link to. So like, let's say if you've been blogging on a regular basis, somebody says, man, I really like this blog post that so and so wrote, or I like this blog post that Various wrote, and I've had this happen to me. They will actually link to my blog, and if I have trackbacks enabled on my blog, then their post will show up on my blog. The title, depending on how the trackback is formatted in the HTML and the CSS, it'll show up to become visible in my comments section. So I turn off trackbacks because sometimes spammers abuse trackbacks, and so that's another form of post metadata. Another really awesome form of post metadata that you'll find comes in very handy is going to be the custom fields post metadata. Custom fields allow you to add metadata that is completely custom. So I love custom fields. A lot of people in the WordPress community use custom fields to create additional types of metadata. Like for instance, let's say you want to use WordPress to create a unique type of blog that you could check in to different locations with. Did you know that ability exists within WordPress? within PHP, you could actually create, you know, a location, kind of a location. You can grab the location of where you're at through different services on your mobile phone, and you can actually attach a location metadata piece on here. Or let's say, in a more simple term, you are writing a blog post and you are maybe writing a book review. You could add a piece of metadata or custom field for book, and then book name would be the value. So the name of the metadata would be book, and the value would be whatever the name of the book is, the title. So custom fields is a really great way to add custom metadata. The rest of the metadata is kind of default. You've got comments, trackbacks. Slug is really not, metadata, but it's like the slug of your post, where the location it can be found at your URL. Author, this is another piece of metadata. So all of this metadata acts in a way to further, I guess I would say, enrich or define each post. And that's what post metadata is about. Metadata is a way to enrich or further define a post that you've created. So I mean, for awesome mobile apps, maybe I want to come up with some metadata, a custom piece of metadata for awesome mobile apps. That would be like, I can actually create it here, add a custom field here, but in order to get it to display on my blog, I would actually have to touch the code. So I guess we wouldn't go there. But all of these meta boxes allow us to see the metadata that's currently available. I could use video. I can add a piece of video as a piece of metadata. You can place an embed code according to this theme. Now, this only came with this theme. That's not on every WordPress theme. And so understanding that additional metadata will be available to you according to whatever premium theme you're using or whatever plugins you have set up. A very, very popular plugin that, later on maybe we can get into, and we talk about this plugin at our meetup in person, lots and lots. And we also, many people love this, many developers love this plugin. It's a very awesome plugin called ACF, short for Advanced Custom Fields. So you could actually use the Advanced Custom Fields plugin. I'm trying to see if the actual plugin is here in the, let's see. It may not be, you may have to go to the website, but I use this plugin, and many developers use this plugin as well. It's a way to add metadata, amazing metadata. Here it is. The plugin is called Advanced Custom Fields, and it's by a guy named, I think he's from Australia. His name is Elliot Condon. Elliot, I hope I'm not just massacring his name. But Advanced Custom Field, it will allow you to create metadata that is just rich. It's amazing. You can do all types of things, and you're only limited by your imagination with this plugin. And so they have ways that you can add, extra text fields, text areas, numbers, email addresses, password. You could attach all of this metadata to any type of post via this plugin. Images, files, a select area, a checkbox, and on it goes. It's a great plugin, very, very great plugin by Elliot Condon. You can go to wordpress.org/plugins, and look for this, or you can actually come to your automatic plugin installer in your WordPress install underneath plugins, add new, and you can look it up here. Advanced custom fields. Great plugin for adding metadata. So we will move on. Categories. So categories, and I would briefly talk about those. Categories are a way of categorizing your post. The default category for most WordPress installs is uncategorized. And if you come to the left side of your blog underneath post categories, it will take you to the screen where you can begin to create category structures. So let's say we are, we have 3 posts right here. This is the same blog, and the one post is called Awesome Mobile Apps. Hey, welcome to Saturday School. Hello world. Let's just say we want to add a category called Basics, because in Saturday School we're really talking about the basics. I do not have to add a slug. This will automatically fill in. But just know that if you want to fill this in, then you should always create your slugs lowercase. So if I just wanted to repeat, BASICS, no capitalization, because the WordPress system is going to make it lowercase anyway. PHP in the background is going to make it lowercase. I can choose a parent category. Since the current category that is available is called uncategorized, then I won't choose a parent category because I want basics to be a parent category in and of itself. And then I can give this category a description. This category is all about WordPress basics. And voila. The next step is for me to just click Add New Category. And once I do, there we go. WordPress refreshes the screen and shows me that I've currently created the initial category. The reason this is red is because I clicked Add New Category. But WordPress shows me that I've just created a new category called Basics. If I hover over this, then usually whenever I hover over any item in the dashboard, categories, posts, things like that, it'll give me an additional menu. And this is like a quick edit menu. So I can click on edit and it'll take me to the full editor screen like this. So I clicked on edit. Here I am at the full editor screen. I can edit this, click update if I want to, or I can just go back and then looks like, wow, it looks like that disappeared. That's a little bit weird. So I'm going to refresh this and let's see if it's still there. There we go. Just didn't register for some reason. So hover over this. I can also click Quick Edit. And Quick Edit will just allow me to edit the name and the slug. So let's just say I wanted to say Basics of WordPress. And underneath the slug, the way to format the slug, you can either choose to leave this at Basics like this. It won't change the slug automatically because it's not empty. You can delete this and then click Update, and you will have an all lowercase slug with hyphens in the middle of each word. Or I could type Basics hyphen of hyphen WordPress, all lowercase, because remember, PHP is going to make it lowercase anyway. I can click Update Category. Those are 3 options. And it looks like WordPress is logging me out, which is weird. Right in the middle of editing. So log in once again. Okay. So now I'm going to update this category. And WordPress is doing some weird stuff. It's giving me -1. It's outputting that on the screen. That's something that I'm going to have to investigate. That's never happened to me. I'll just click cancel for now. And I wonder if it actually logged me in. I'm going to click on categories again. Cheating, huh? You're not allowed to manage these items. Interesting. Let's go back, because I am having a little weird thing happen here in the middle of Saturday school. I'm going to remove that, go to WP admin. Let's see if WordPress will allow me to be back into here. Let's see. Saturday school, Redux framework notice. There are references to the Redux framework support site. Okay, so we're going to close this for now. I'll go back later and check that out. But at this point, I'm going to view the site because it's just a little bit weird what that did just now. So everything looks fine, and then, but I'm actually missing quite a few things. Okay, because I'm logged in under a different username. And this is not the administrative username, so I'm going to log out again, and I'm going to log in under administrator. And I'm using bypass login. That is a part of, it's a part of ServerPress, desktop server software. So it's very handy. And I'm going to go back to categories because that is what we're covering right now. And let's see, there we have basics. And I'm going to go to quick edit, basics of WordPress. And then I'm going to do basics -of WordPress, all lowercase. I'm going to update category. And this was where I was logged out in the middle of it. And there we go, our category. Gives me the option to delete it or to view it. I'm going to go ahead and click view, and that's basically going to take me to an actual URL. If you look at the URL bar, where I can find everything that's listed under the category of basics of WordPress, but currently there's nothing listed under basics of WordPress, so my best bet is to come here to where the blog posts are and begin to list these under the category. There are several ways that I can take a blog post that is not listed under a category and put it under a category. For the first way, I will show you by going into the editor. So what I will do is click on either the title of my post or the quick edit button that says edit. So I'll click on that one. And it's going to take me to the actual page or the editor of the blog. And this is the one that we added the gallery to. And if I look on the right side, underneath publish, there's another meta box called categories. Currently, this post is listed under uncategorized. And what I want to do is put it under basics. So I'll just select the box next to basics of WordPress. Select that, and I unselected uncategorized. So now it should be listed categorically under basics of WordPress. I click update, and I'm being painstakingly detailed because I understand that there may be people who come to view this broadcast later and they don't understand any of this. So because this is archived on YouTube and because it's going to be around for the benefit of others later, I want to be as detailed as possible. So now that I've updated this post, I'm going to go back out to my tab where I navigated to that category, basics of WordPress. Says sorry, no results were found because there is nothing in that category. But now I'm going to refresh, and I did refresh by using Command R on my keyboard. And as I refresh the screen, voila, there we go. We have our first post within our first created category, because uncategorized is actually the first category on your website. But we have our first post within our first created category, and you can also see the metadata that accompanies this post, that right here on the little brief summary. There's no wording in the post, so you don't see anything there. But this is the way this post is displaying. It has a featured image, has a title, and then some of the metadata. The author is V. Smith, which is myself. Posted in Basics of WordPress. It's a single category. And then it also has like a little comment symbol. So if there were comments on this post, then that would actually have a number. And it has to date. So now we have this post. If I were to navigate to this post, click there. Because of the way this theme is created, I'm seeing all of this accompanying metadata. And I can see here on the sidebar of this singular post. This is just a singular post. On the right-hand side, this is a sidebar, and there's a category widget. Now inside of the category widget, I see Basics of WordPress. This is a category that I just created. In order to, we've gone over widgets before, but just briefly I want to show you. You can actually go and find where that is located in your administrative area by going to the left, go back to your administrative area dashboard, go to Appearance, Widgets, and that's where this widget that you see on the right-hand side of this post is found. And it's underneath Primary Sidebar. So you see Recent Comments, Categories. I can change this Categories widget to have a different title. I can display it as a drop-down. I can actually show the post count. Let's do that. And let's change it to show the post count. And I can also display as a drop-down. So let's change it to display as a drop-down as well. So I select both of those, and I click Save. Once it's saved, I go back out to my blog, and I will refresh this page by clicking the refresh button at the top left. And on the right-hand side, in our sidebar, our categories widget has changed to a drop-down, as we did select that. And we also have the number of posts that are within each category listed out on the right side of the category name. So Basics of WordPress has one post inside of it, and Uncategorized has 2 posts on the inside of it. And so just to briefly help you understand categories and how they work, we've gone through both of these quite a bit painstakingly and showed you an example how to edit your category, to add categories where they are found as well. We've also reviewed briefly how to change your category widget in your sidebar. So the next thing we will talk about is going to be tags. And we are running out of time, but we won't take much time. We'll take 4 minutes to go over this. Categories, they are metadata attached to each post that acts in a way to, they are basically, a fancy word used is taxonomy, and it'll help you group posts together according to, a categorical name. That's the only way I could say it. Tags are another way to group similar posts together. However, they are not hierarchical. They don't have you cannot place them in a hierarchy structure. Categories you can place in a hierarchy structure. Tags you cannot. To navigate to tags, you go to post, hover over post, go to tags. And in the same way, you have already been creating your categories, then you can also create your tags. So there are currently no tags. I rarely use tags on my blog posts, but you can create tags to indicate, I guess I would say more specific and more detailed types of groupings. And tags can be infinite as well. Tags are just like, some people use hundreds of tags for one post. And so if I wanted to create a tag for, some of the blogs are the blogs that are currently on this install of WordPress, then I can create a tag. I don't know. First thing that comes to mind is blog. I mean, it really is. Um, like I've sometimes I find tags unnecessary, and if you want a better description of tags, then you can also go to the codex, the WordPress codex. So we'll go to. I mean, like, to be honest with you, I do use categories more than I use tags. So, not template tags. Template tags are an entirely different thing. Template tags are when you are creating it's probably going to be under taxonomy. I'm searching tags, but probably going to be under taxonomy. Taxonomy. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more in-depth and detailed than I want to go into and then we have time with. But I have created a tag here. I'm going to go back to where I was at first. I created a tag called blog. And if I go to all posts, then the way I can add a tag, it's going to be similar to the way that I added a category. So I'm going to just go to the editor of awesome mobile apps here. And I'm going to look on the right hand side, and now I see tags. Okay, now I can choose, I can use a lot of different tags, but blog is going to be the first one I'm going to add. So if I start typing it, it auto completes that, and I select that and I click add. Boom, there's a tag. Update this post, and it is available. It's going to be available on the front end. And I will go to this blog here and make sure I can see the post. Awesome mobile app. It's got, that's posted in the category of basics of WordPress, and then it has a singular tag on here called blog. So, I mean, tags can get very descriptive, but they're just another way to group posts together. So, I could add as many tags as I want. Okay, now it's 10:16. I have eventually run out of time, and I hope I didn't bore you guys to death, but it is now time to stop the broadcast, and we're going to answer any questions that you guys may have, if you have any questions. And do you have any questions?
This is Liz.
Hey, Liz.
On advanced custom fields, you have to have the client on there, and they have to install it.
Yes. When you say the client, you mean like have the plugin
Sorry, my
installed,
cat
right?
walked over my keyboard. When you have advanced custom fields, you have to have the client install them as well.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. It's I think I'm understanding your question. You said you have to have the client install it.
Yeah, if I make something for, like, say I'm making a theme to sell, and I want to use advanced custom fields, they aren't going to show up if the customer doesn't have advanced custom fields installed. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct. So, yes. If you're if you're wanting to add new fields through advanced custom fields, then the client will definitely need to, or if you have administrative access, you can install it yourself. You can install advanced custom field plugin to the theme yourself.
Oh,
And yeah, you can add those because here's the thing with advanced custom fields, it does get a little bit advanced. You would have to, but you're already editing those templates, and you're
yeah.
already doing HTML and CSS. So advanced custom fields is kind of right up your alley because you're going to need to edit template files in order for those advanced custom fields to show up on the actual front end of the website.
Yeah, I've used advanced custom fields in my before, so I really love it. It's a great plugin.
Very amazing. I love advanced custom fields, and like we talk about it a lot. I mean, in the group, and also at the meetups, and so I know a lot of people are using it for just so many things. I mean, the guy Elliot Condon is a genius, and so
And they have really good support too, because I had a question. It was a stupid question. It was like right after I started using it, and they answered right away. They're really, and it was for the free plugin. It wasn't for the paid plugin.
oh wow, that's awesome. So they answered your question even without the pay plugin.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very good. That is very awesome. I mean, like I've used advanced custom fields on some really big projects, and it's just custom fields in and of themselves. Custom fields they were revolutionary to the WordPress world, and they really enabled WordPress developers to do some really cool things. Custom fields and custom post types, you know, and then using custom fields on custom post types really made it so that you can do a lot. And so, yeah, advanced custom fields makes it so easy to use them because it gives you an interface. I really love it. Did you have any other questions that, and I know most of the stuff that I did cover is very basic. I mean, I know most of the stuff that I cover in these Saturday schools is very basic because I'm just trying to fill in a lot of the gaps of learning.
No, it
So
filled in some gaps for me, so that's good. Thank you.
Hey,
awesome.
Darius.
Yes.
Mac here.
Hey, Mac.
So, taxidermies.
Taxonomies.
Yeah, well, what exactly are those and what are they used for?
Okay, so taxonomies are just it's the way to group things together. It's a weird word, and you could also just call them groupings, like groupings of things. And it's kind of like how I think they got of course technically they kind of got the idea from like how they group birds and fish, things in the animal kingdom together. So if you go to any of your blogs, I'm pretty sure you've already got a pretty advanced category structure set up. And each one of those categories is a taxonomy. So taxonomies, like the categories, are, and I had a little bit of trouble describing this, but categories are hierarchical, a hierarchical taxonomy that you use with post, and then you can also use them with custom post types as well. A tag, now this is where I had trouble with tags, but tags are just more freeform. I rarely use tags. I know you use tags on one of your blogs that I was looking at quite a bit. You use a lot of tags, but they're just more free-form type of taxonomy. And so categories can be set into a hierarchy, like books, and then you can say soft cover books or hard cover books underneath books. And that's a hierarchy of of categories. And a category in and of itself is a taxonomy. And then tags, you can say like, something like mountains, wilderness, forest, and those don't even have to be like hierarchical or in the same category, are put together, but they kind of go together. They kind of group. They would be in the group of kind of like nature things. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, hopefully that helps you to understand taxonomies a little bit better. You can also, I know in WordPress, they give you the ability to create custom taxonomies. And I mean, like you could go on and on. They give an example. I'm actually looking at an example of a people taxonomy. So the codex goes into some really serious detail of it, and I mean, but very simply, it's just a way to group things together.
Okay. Well, I understand it a lot better now. And a tag, I guess, when you click on a tag, that drops you into a taxonomy.
Correct. Now, the way that works, as far as like, interaction on your blog, there is a tag template by default that comes with WordPress. So there is a kind of like an archive template. Is one of your default actual templates that will display whatever in the archives. There's a default tag. There's a default tag template that will display on the front end of your website whatever tags you click on, and so it'll serve that information up dynamically according to whatever tag you click on, but into the very same template that is available for it. And you can create custom tag templates when you begin to create these custom themes, and you can do that for categories as well. So categories comes with a default category template, and so the way the theme engine works is that if you don't have these category and tag templates, they will fall back to I think it's kind of like the default blog template or something, or the index.php. But that's just technically behind the scene. But most of the time there is a default tag.php template that will display it a certain way.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Well, if there's no more questions, then I really thank you guys for coming in and asking questions today, and also tuning in to this broadcast. And if anyone is catching this broadcast at a future date, feel free to contact us through any one of the means that was announced at the beginning of the video, and also to check out the archives on YouTube, or and or visit us at the local meetup group. January 5th is our next meetup. And if it's past January 5th, just know that we meet every first Tuesday of the month in Riverside, California. And we also do this Saturday school every Saturday until further notice. And thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you guys later. Have a great day.